Hi, this is Mike Rudner,
And Dan Scillieri.
and we're here at Patriot Stadium for the anticipated start of Wayne Hills versus Pascack Hills in softball. Wayne Hills is 0-1 this season, but looking to bounce back from their tough opening season loss, 12-2. Now, Dan, what do you expect this game?
Well, as you said before, they're trying to bounce back, and it's their first home game. You know, every team tries to do best on their first home game. This Hills team looks pretty strong. Ashley Kendallson will be on the mound for the Patriots today. She's a leadership senior, good arm, so hopefully she'll lead this team. And the game is almost about to be underway.
So this is expected to be a close matchup. The battery for today's game is going to be Kennison and Pellechia. First pitch is up high for a ball.
The batter for Pascack Hills is number 2, Carrie Crawley. Kennison deals. And there's strike 1. Crawley looking down for the sign, taking some practice swings. Kennison relaxing, looking in for the sign. Deals. Fouls it off, straight back. Right on top of that one.
So the count's 1-2 to Crowley. And the pitch is fouled back into the seats. Or the woods, whatever you'd like to say in Patriot Stadium. Playing first base today for Wayne Hills is Wozniak. Dan will give you the rest of the team, where they're positioned right now.
That last pitch was in the dirt, ball 2. Erin Moskell will be playing second base, followed by Nicole Pruitt at short and Nikki Heck at third. The outfielders are Kim Biddy in right, Lauren Mezzi in center, and in left is Jen Wolf. This count is 2-2. Kennison agreeing with the sign. She deals. Little dribbler. Wozniak swoops, fires over to Moskell, and gets the quick out at first. 1 away.
Good hustle there by Crowley to make it a close play at first. Almost beating out the ground ball. So next up for Pascack Hills is number 11, Mackenzie Curry. First pitch is grounded foul. So the count's 0-1. Kennison looking good so far early on.
Kennison's got to remember that it's very cold out, and she's got to keep her arm warm. I mean, this field is bitter. It's known for its horrendous wind. So if she stays warm, her hand warm, she should be doing a pretty fine day.
I remember a couple of years ago when Mike Hampton signed with the Mets, he had trouble pitching in the cold weather. So he did the smart thing in the offseason and signed with Colorado. Now look where he is, huh? So 0-2 count. Staying alive is Mackenzie Curry. Cold day right now.
Kennison now deals. Fouled off again for the 4th straight time. Mackenzie just staying alive, trying to get a hit for this Pascack Hills team. Kennison, again not green, likes the sign and deals. High, ball 1. Count moves to 1-2. The Wayne Hills team is cheering on their pitcher. The umpire checking around, sets back in. And strike 3 on the high pitch. A 2 away.
So Kennison getting Curry on the high heat. Next up for Pascack Hills, number 15, Lee Mueller. Or is it Miller? I don't know. That pronunciations. There's a Miller spelled like that, M-U-E-L-L-E-R in baseball, and there's also a Mueller. So could go either way. So Kennison evens up the count, 1-1. So Dan, what are we going with, Mueller or Miller?
I think we'll go with Mueller today, Mike. Those of you just tuning in, we're broadcasting the Wayne Hills Patriots versus the Pascack Hills Indians, I believe are?
Cowboys.
The Cowboys, that's it, I'm sorry. Got them a little mixed up, Cowboys and Indians. Kennison deals. Hard shot. Kennison knocks it down. Fires over to first. Got her. 3 away. That's the end of the top of the inning.
So she's working on a perfect game. Impressive first inning for Kennison. Getting 2 players to ground out and a strikeout in between. Now, I believe the last TV production sporting event you've seen was bowling, where both Dan and I were in. Dan was announcing that with his cousin Jeff Bozcato. And that was pretty impressive bowling, huh? So here's our schedule for the rest of the season. Friday, April 19th, we're going to have a baseball game versus Ramapo. Should be a great game. Dan, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
As you know, the rivalry is always huge between Ramapo and this Wayne Hills team. But as you know, Wayne Hills is looking very strong. I mean, defeating who I believe it was Pascack Valley, I think. Like a crushing it was Ramsey. I'm sorry. Ramsey 23-8. Just 2 home runs by Steve Aiello, 1 by Jay DeMarco, a grand slam by Jeff Wells. So, I mean, with the pitching right, this should be just a great game next week.
Yeah, and the Bergen record, they had Ramapo ranked #1 in North Jersey baseball, and Wayne Hills, I believe, was ranked 9th. Ramapo, I think, went 27-4. They're led by Ryan Pizzari, the star football and basketball player for Ramapo. And Wayne Hills was 19-11 last year. They lost in the Passaic County Finals with Martin Vergara pitching for DePaul. So that should be a great game on April 19th. We're looking forward to it.
Pitching for the Cowboys is number 22, Maria Hein-Gilberg. The Cowboy team infield cheers them on as they break into their positions. Batting first is the center fielder, Lauren Mezzi, number 4. Mezzi, a star athlete, varsity track, and I believe soccer, too. And she is playing varsity and only a junior. The pitch, high, ball 1.
So the count is in Mezzi's favor at 1-0. Now, Dan, you want to run down the rest of the lineup for Wayne Hills today?
Oh, on that strike, and batting second is second baseman Aaron Moskal. Third is Linda Wozniak, the first baseman. Cleanup, Jen Wolf, followed by Ashley Kennison and Nicole Hecht. Next is Dana Bilecki, Kim Beattie, and then Nicole Peruta. Pretty solid offensive team for this Wayne Hills Patriots.
So looking good 1-9. And Mezzi staying alive on the 1-2 pitch. So early on, both pitchers looking pretty sharp. So Mezzi grounds it out to second base. And she almost beats it out, but nice play by second baseman to get out Mezzi. There's 1 down for Wayne Hills.
Up next now is second baseman Aaron Moskal. Aaron Moskal fouls one off. This Hills teams look to be very aggressive today, swinging at like everything that looks close.
Aaron hits one deep into left field, and it's caught. Nice catch there by the left fielder. That ball was hit hard, though. Left field, so 2 down for Wayne Hills. Dan, you want to run down the field for who's in the field for Pascack Hills?
Well, we have pitching, as I said before, Maria Hein-Gilbert. The catcher is Mackenzie Curry, followed by Christina Buchanan at first, Carrie Cowley at second. The shortstop is Alyssa McGarry. Third baseman is Nicole Tazari. And in the outfield, we have Katie Hansen, Lee Mueller, not Miller there, Mike, and Caitlin Carlin, and Natalie Carlin, I'm sorry. The pitch comes in, and a strike 3, caught looking. And the Hills team goes down 3 up, 3 down. So now the sun's finally starting to come out. Thank God. Maybe this will heat up this field a little bit. It's getting very cold. We're having a little technical difficulties with the glare, but our technicians will take care of it. So, Mike, what do you think about the game so far?
Well, both teams' pitching has looked impressive so far, with Maria Hein Geldern on the mound for the Cowboys and Gelburn, my mistake. And for Wayne Hills, Ashley Kennison, both retired 1, 2, 3 in the first inning. So as the teams warm up in the outfield, big day on Monday, or Sunday night, we should say, opening day in baseball. Dan, what do you look for this season? Let's start off in the American League.
Well, me, and a huge Yankee fan, always cheer my team on. Big pick with Jason Giambi now playing first for him. I know they suffered a tough loss to Baltimore on opening day, but they bounced back. Robin Ventura had a huge home run to make that 1-0 win on Wednesday night. And I believe today, last time I checked, they were winning 4-0 over the Devil Rays. Let's go on to the National League. It's more of Mike's half. But we'll check in with that next half inning as we are about to get underway. The last team checking in. The infield cheers on Ashley Kennison as they break apart into their positions. Kennison now agreeing, deals, foul away. So count is 0-1. And it's in the dirt. Then it's in the dirt, so count moves to 1-1. Batting now in the cleanup position, Nicole Tazari. Kennison deals high, ball 2. Kennison now starting to going to take some little speed off it, work on her control again. Little loop just over the second baseman's head for a base hit, the first hit of the day. Just a little bloop over the second baseman, Aaron Moss's head.
So there goes the perfect game. Always look for that when I watch a ball game. So Aaron Moskal just out of her reach at second base. So Pizzari looking to steal, but I believe in softball you can't steal until the pitch is gone, so it's pretty tough to steal softball. So Wayne Hill's falling behind the count, 2-0. It's number 13, Alyssa McGarry. And the pitch is in there for a called strike. Counts 2-1. So it looks like Wayne Hills has some sort of wheel on. Aaron Mosk, they took the wheel off in this play. Kennison gonna go for second, and Pruitt will hold at second. So the Force at second base get the lead runner. 1 down in the inning. Next up is number 17, Katie Hanson. Okay. So Kennison getting ready to deal. And it's ripped deep into right field. Oh, misjudged right there by the right fielder. Coach is sending the runners. So he's going to try to go home on him. And the play is safe. So costly error right there for Kim Beattie in right field. She misjudged the play, came in on it, then it sailed over her head. So always easier to come in on a ball. So at first you should try to go back and then come in.
And with that tough mistake, a nice triple by Katie Hansen, and this Pascack Hills team takes a 1-0 lead. Kennison deals, and it's inside. Brushing back the batter. Count moves to 0-1. This Hills team trying to pump up their pitcher, Ashley Kennison. Ooh, big cut, nothing there. Nikki Heck, third baseman, keeping the runner close, trying not to give anything away. And it's fouled away, and the count moves to 1-2.
So Wayne Hills falls behind early on in today's game, 1-0. Tough play by BD in the outfield. Hopefully she'll bounce back and get some big base hits. We've seen that a lot in the major leagues. And it's fouled up. Whoa, someone on the Wayne Hills bench getting out of the way. I believe, don't they play softball, or are they afraid of the ball?
Well, as you know, the softballs aren't really that soft. They're actually much larger and heavier than baseballs. So I was wondering, I always thought, why do girls use the bigger, larger balls? Yeah, it just makes you wonder a little because the guys use smaller ones. Kennison deals a little high, and the count moves to 2-2. Hanson taking a good lead after the pitch crosses the plate from third. Hoping to score, and the pitch gets by, but nothing happens. Nothing happens. Count moves to 3-2. Full count, as they call them, professional softball and baseball.
Now, Dan, if you're afraid of the softball, can't believe... Oh, in there for strike 3. Swinging at the high heat, looking like Ray Ordonez out there. So Kennison gets her second strikeout of the game. Next up for Pascack Hills is number 20, Natalie Carlin. Check swing. Won't count. Ball 1. Kennison deals low, so she falls behind 2-0. Now, as we said before, if you're afraid of the ball on the bench, what happens if it's hit to you in right field? That can't be good for the team.
I mean, if it's hit to you, like, you just have to stand your ground, try not to back up, get it under the ball as close as you can, and just, two hands catch it. If you try one-handed, you increase your risk to drop the ball almost like 50%. And then there's a strike.
So, Dan, you're a baseball player, but this year you're joining on the broadcasting team. Were you afraid of the ball? Is that why you joined their broadcasting team?
No. Oh, hit the batter, and she'll take her base. I'm not playing baseball this year because I'm doing track. I'm working on my speed to help my Wayne Hills football team next year. I am one of the 4 captains selected by my teammates. So that's why I've departed from baseball. I miss it every day, though. And that pitch is in the dirt. And a confusing play and a stolen base by Natalie Carlin.
So I think Kennison got confused there. I don't really know. Ooh, get her on the strike. Looks like she went around, twisted her body a little bit too much on the check swing. So let's see if Linda can go after this, and just foul. So Kennison looking like Clemens on the mound, beating a batter, and then doesn't know what's going on in the field. She is number 22, but Clemens did change his number to 12 going into last season. And it's low. Kennison needs a big strikeout here to try to get out of this inning. She's in tough trouble. And it's ripped into right field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. There's going to be a play at the plate. Cut off, man, to Wozniak. And the play at the plate, she's out. Nice play. Nice throw by Aaron Moskal at the plate.
But 1 run has scored, and this Hills team has increased their lead. Up next for the Wayne Hills Patriots is cleanup Jen Wolf, followed by Ashley Kennison and Nicole Hecht. 3 dangerous hitters for this Wayne Hills Patriots.
Now, last year, as a TV segment, my fellow cameraman, Mike Berlin, and I had to do a softball segment. And when Mike Berlin went to videotape, which he's doing right now for us, Jen Wolf hit a big home run for Wayne Hills. I believe it was a grand slam, actually. Wayne Hills went on to lose the game, but let's see if Jen Hills can repeat what happened in today's game. Wayne Hills can use it down 2-0 right now. So, Dan, there are balls in football. If you're afraid of that in that sport, then you're in big trouble.
Honestly, Mike, I mean, I don't try to sound all macho about this, but there's really no room for fear in football. If you fear like the slightest bit, then it's going to affect how you play, how you act, like the way you judge things, and then it'll just hurt not only you but the team. So that's why there really is like no room for fear in the game of football. So now the bottom of the second inning, the Cowboys break from their little huddle on top of the mound. The pitcher Maria Hein-Gelburn setting in. Gelburn has 1 K on the day, going on a perfect game through the first inning.
They're playing in on Jen Wolf. She's got a lot of power. I don't know why the third baseman's in too far. And it's ripped into center field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. So Jen Wolf with a leadoff single, first hit for Wayne Hills today. She left her helmet behind at home plate, though. They'll deliver that to her.
Now, one of the very different things from softball than it is from baseball is if you notice how close the third baseman and first baseman are. I mean, if a player in baseball were ever that close, a hard line drive would knock him down and maybe even kill him if it hit him right. And that one is ball high to Ashley Kennison, the pitcher. The Hills bench cheering on their pitcher at the plate. Hein-Gelburn sets. And it's a hard shot to second base. Get 1 at 2, fires over, and ooh, beats out, just breaks up the double play. So Ashley Kennison hits into her fielder's choice.
Now, Dan, is it just me, or did it seem like a costly error right there by second baseman not to tag out Jen Wolf and then go to first? It seemed like the obvious play because she was standing right in front of her. Now, if Jen decided to slow down and run back to first base, that would be a different, story. But she had no intention of doing that, so could have gotten the double play, cost the team an out. And now Nikki Heck rips one into left field, but nice play by left fielder. That's 2 putouts by the left fielder in today's game.
There's really nothing you can do about them. Nikki Heck should not have her head down about that. She hit the ball solid, hit it square, and it was just right to someone. I mean, there's nothing you could do about that. I mean, everyone has their good hits just right at people.
So the pitch is ripped to the second baseman, getting lots of action out here in the field. And that'll be 3 outs for Wayne Hills. So after the leadoff single by Jen Wolf, nothing else can happen. And the score stays knotted at, or not knotted, but it's going to be staying at 2-0.
So, Mike, as I explained before about the American League of the Major Leagues, how about the National League?
Now, as Dan's a big Dan's a big Yankee fan. I, on the other hand, am a big Mets fan. Big additions in the offseason with Mo Vaughn, Jeremy Burnitz, Roberto Alomar, Sean Esty. That can go on and on. 14 new players on the team. Should be an exciting year for the Mets. Disappointing start for the Mets, though, losing to the Pirates in a series last 2 games. But in the National League, I think the Mets are going to win the NL East. I like the Braves in the wild card. Central, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. And out in the West, I like the Arizona Diamondbacks. And my World Series pick for 2002. Drum roll, Dan. Are the Mets and the Yankees. A repeat of 2 years ago.
The repeat of the Subway Series. I think the population in New York went down 100,000 people. I mean, so many people just love the Mets. So many people just love the Yankees. I mean, I know a huge Yankee fan. It's sweet music to my ears hearing that the Mets lost to the Pirates. But, people have their differences and their own opinions. It's just the Mets aren't any good.
Speaking of sweet music, I loved it on opening day with my arch nemesis. Roger Clemens had a terrific opening day, giving up a home run to Tony Batista. Now, I believe you underhanded in softball, but not in the major leagues, so I don't know what Clemens was thinking.
I see there's no solving this debate between me and Mike and between the Yankees and the Mets. We go back to the game. First pitch, blooped up. Nicole Peruta calls off the infielders. Easy fly ball. Next batter is catcher, Mackenzie Curry. Mackenzie's first at bat, she struck out swinging. Kennison's first of 2 strikeouts of the game. First pitch, fouled high and just out of play into the Hills dugout.
No one really got out of the way on that time. Now, as a avid baseball fan, I go to plenty of Mets games, and I've never gotten a foul ball. One of the things I look for every time we go to a Mets game. I'm hoping to get one today, though.
You going to the Mets game today?
No, not today. They're playing in Atlanta, but I go to several this season.
I see. Well, the key is to get to the game early while the teams are doing batting practice. I mean, some of the players walk around, sign autographs, ball high. Others, just hit some into the stands, and it's fun to just chase after them. Good spot, always a little tip, is stand right along the wall. They'll hit foul balls, and they'll just roll down the side. You got long enough arms, you can reach down and just scoop one up. I myself must have 4 or 5 in my collection from my career of foul ball catching.
Dan will have to take me out to the stadium and show me what to do. He probably has longer arms than I do. And Kennison gets another strikeout on the day. That's her third. So tough day right now for Mackenzie Curry. That's 2 strikeouts. Next up, Dan will tell you all about her.
Lee Mueller, number 15, the center fielder, fouls one off. It kicks around the backstop. Kennison, after having a rough top of the second, he seems to be getting back onto her game at the top of this order. It's in the dirt, ball 2.
Maybe Kennison likes the top of the order better than the bottom. Now, usually coaches like to put their better players on top, but who knows what's going on right now. Another pitch fouled off. So Kennison needs one more strike to get out of this inning. Kennison with the windup in there for strike 3. So Kennison with a very impressive inning. I don't think Kennison realizes has 3 outs, and someone tells her, and they're going to go into the dugout or bench. So, Dan, let's talk about the game after Rampone Hills, which we'll be doing.
We'll keep our fans updated on our broadcasting schedule as Mike is searching through his papers for the schedule. So the score is 2-0 Pascack Hills over the Wayne Hills Patriots. Thank you for joining in today. I'm Dan Scillieri along with Mike Rudner broadcasting today's game on Wayne Hills Patriots Field. In week 3, we have on Monday, April 22nd, softball, Wayne Hills versus Fairlawn. That should be an interesting game. Another high rivals between Hills and Fairlawn.
Now, in our last telecast, we talked about the bowling rivals between Fairlawn and Wayne Hills. Now we're going to be showing you softball on April 22nd. So Pascack Hills uniting on the mound and in center field. A little break, and we'll come back to Wayne Hills Patriot softball.
We'll be keeping you broadcasted on all the events of this broadcast as the game goes on. Up next is Kim Beatty, the freshman, who is also a varsity basketball player. She tries to drag bunt and misses. Coach giving a signal not to. Kim Beatty sets back in. Now, she's a freshman. Like most freshmen who play a lot of varsity time, tries again with a drag bunt and misses. The count is 0-2. Now, as you know, if you try and bunt a ball on the 3rd strike and it goes foul, you are considered out. And look at this. Kim Beatty switches sides and is now coming on the righty. Hard line drive, just foul. Now, she hit that. She didn't bunt it. That's why she isn't called out.
Saw that on opening day with the Mets. Was Al Leiter bunted it on 2 strikes foul, and he gets called for the strikeout. Al Leiter, one of the worst hitters in baseball. So he's looking to bunt on 2 strikes anyway. So Beatty rips at the second base. Easy play for the second baseman, and there's 1 down for Pascack Hills.
Up next is junior Nicole Peruta, number 3, the shortstop. Nicole Peruta takes some practice swings, scrapes in the dirt, just gets it the way she likes it. Her team cheering her on from the bench. The pitch, and it's in there for strike 1.
Now this might be the only sport where you have cheering from your own teammates. I've never been at a baseball game where they're saying Piazza, let's go, Piazza,
Well, since they are girls, they do it more of a cheerful kind of way. Guys will encourage them by almost doing reverse psychology, telling them how bad they are. Some guys can take it and actually do better. Others will just continue to do bad.
Maybe that's why you quit baseball, Dan. Too much constructive criticism.
Very funny, Mike. Very funny.
So Peruta staying alive. And she goes down swinging. So there's 2 down for Wayne Hills. Now I just noticed something for softball. In baseball, they go around the horn, the catcher throws it over to the third baseman on strikeouts. Here what they do is they all circle around the pitcher. They move closer and closer, and by the time the shortstop gets it, she just hands the pitcher the ball. It's kind of impressive. So top of the order from Wayne Hills, Mezzi rips it foul. Pitch is fouled off by Mezzi again. That would have been right in our area if it was a lefty.
Then maybe you would have gotten that foul ball you'd have always wanted for. Well, Lauren Mezzi, the count is 0-2. She takes more practice swings as the ball returns into play. Setting in. Pitch deals. And it's a little high for ball 1.
So 1-2 for Lauren Mezzi. And Mezzi rips it over the first baseman, but just foul. See, now if the home plate umpire didn't see that play, it could have been a tough call because the first base umpire was ducking on the play, so he had no idea where the ball landed. Is that like a changeup there? What was that pitch?
I guess because in baseball you use different grips and from the overhand. I guess you can't really do that with underhand. So I guess strike 3 and Mezzi goes down. But so I guess with the change in speeds can just throw off a batter at any time of the game.
So this girl, Maria Hein Gilburn, very impressive early on, only allowing 1 hit, looking like Randy Johnson. And she is tall, so maybe we can go with the big unit.
Well, I believe Randy Johnson is the best pitcher in all of baseball, so she's got a lot to stand up to if you want to give her the nickname of one of the top pitchers for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, we go back to the Arizona Diamondbacks. The big unit, Randy Johnson, also followed by Kurt Schilling. That's a deadly duo. So Kennison still taking some warm-ups as the team goes around the horn. Pitch comes in. Batting now is Kristen Falgi, the DH, number 14. Sorry, previously we said Nicole Tazari was the batter. In fact, she was being designated hit for.
Glad we got that squared away. So Wayne Hills breaks from their huddle. And Kennison's ready to pitch. Wayne Hills down 2-0 in the 3rd inning. 4th. Is it 3rd or 4th, Dan?
I believe it's top of the 4th.
Yeah, 4th inning. That's what I thought. There's no scoreboard here, so Dan is the human scoreboard for today's game. So falls behind on the pitcher. 14. Kennison delivers up high for ball 1. 2-1, my mistake. And it's ripped into left field, and Jen Wolf will have to throw it into second base. So nice hit there by Kristen, number 14. It's 2 for 2 on the day. Very impressive numbers. So now batting for Pascack Hills is number 13, Alyssa McGarry. She lays down a nice bunt. And good job by Kennison for getting the play at first. So there's 1 down.
Now, in softball and baseball terms, that's called a sacrifice, where if there's 0, 1, or 1 outs, the batter will sacrifice himself to move a runner into scoring position. Kennison deals as a little high. The runner from second taking a very good lead.
And the pitch is low. Ball 2. Kennison's got to calm down and start getting some outs before Wayne Hills falls behind by more than 2 runs. And it's in there for a called strike. Counts 2-1. So foul back, 2-2. Count falls even. Kennison deals. Oh no, called strike.
And you hear the Wayne Hills Patriots bench was not happy with that call. Hoping for the strike, but it was just a little bit inside. Kennison agreeing with the sign. Steals. And it's ripped to the second baseman. Aaron Moskal scoops. Nice play. Fires over to first. Got her. Again, advancing the runner to third.
Looking like Roberto Alomar on the play. So Moskal, nice plays in the field to play at home plate. And a couple nice plays at second base. Kennison up high for ball 1. So up high for ball.
Dude, the first baseman picked that up and threw it to the second baseman first. Kennison deals again. She's now pacing herself, drying off her hand, trying to get a better grip on that large softball. She pitches, and it's just high, ball 4, and that's a walk. Up now is number 20, Natalie Carlin. Her first at bat, she was hit by a pitch and got her base.
That was a costly hit by pitch because I think she wound up scoring a run in the play. And Pellechia doesn't throw to second base. Now, are these called stolen bases? Or are they just giving it to her? I don't understand.
Well, technically there are stolen bases, but Pellechia was doing a smart move. If she'd have thrown to second, the runner from third could have broke for home. And if it works right, they can actually get the runner at home. But if not, just all panic breaks loose and wild throws happen. And so she just calmed down, threw it back to the pitcher, and let Ashley take control again. Ashley pitches, and it's fouled away.
Now, Dan, you were a catcher back in your heyday. Would you have thrown down to second base on the play?
Actually, there were several different plays that we ran. And back when I played, one was we'd fake a throw to second and try and get the runner leading from third. Then a swing strike. Others we'd actually just throw down, or one we'd throw down and the shortstop would come across and cut it off. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things you can do. It just all relies on communication between your players. And strike 3, down swinging. That's Ashley Kennison's 5th strikeout of the game. Up next for the Wayne Hills Patriots in the bottom of the 4th, second baseman Aaron Moskal, first baseman Linda Wozniak, and left fielder Jen Wolf. We'll now again keep you updated on our weekly schedule. Mike, how about you tell our fans about it?
Well, on May 1st, our 4th televised game of this season is baseball versus Pascack Hills. Now we have the softball team for Pascack Hills here today, and on May 1st we'll have a baseball team. Baseball team's supposed to be very good this season. Them and Rampo are supposed to be 2 of the top teams, and we will bring it to you on public access, Channel 72. Still
on the mound for the Pascack Hills Cowboys is Maria Hein-Gelburn. Leading off, number 2 in the batting order, Erin Moskal. Last at bat, she fly to the outfield. Got a good piece of the ball, just not enough to hit into a gap. I quote the great Yankee catcher Yogi Berra with his famous quote where, "Hit it where it ain't." I know it doesn't sound like the best thing, but honestly, it just brings baseball down to the basics. It's what you're actually supposed to do. Hit the ball where they're not. Yogi Berra was one of the best catchers of all time, ladies and gentlemen, and he was a Yankee, Mike, a Yankee.
Now, when you say one of the best catchers, I believe the best catcher is Mike Piazza. I don't think there's any doubt he's the best hitting catcher in baseball.
I will give you that, but ball one on the play. I will give you that, but all around is not the best catcher all around. That definitely goes to the Texas Rangers' Ivan Rodriguez, also known as Pudge. He's just unstoppable, throwing out up to 65% of all people who steal against him. That's unheard of nowadays.
So, hit the shortstop. Going to be a close play at first. And Moskal is called out. She didn't really look like she ran it out on the play or something, because I thought she was going to beat it out. And she kind of slowed down as she got to first base, almost afraid that the ball was going to hit her or something.
Well, actually, I know as most instinct does is to jump and take a long stride, but actually if you keep chopping your feet and running, you are proven to be faster running through the base. And Linda Wozniak takes a big cut, and the count is 0-1.
So, Dan, here's our chance for a foul ball. Lefty's up. And it's ripped high into the air, and the shortstop runs in and makes the play.
Up next is the cleanup batter, number 11, Jen Wolf. Jen Wolf with the only hit this Wayne Hills Patriots team had with a line drive base hit. As you hear cheers coming from the Wayne Hills Patriots bench. Pitcher deals. Ooh, Jen doesn't like the inside pitch, but it is called for strike 1.
It's chopped into the ground, and the pitcher picks it up and throws over to first base. So Wayne Hills takes another 1-2-3 inning. And the big unit, impressive in this game.
Speaking of the big unit, she will be leading off Maria Hein-Gelburn, followed by the top of the order, Carrie Crowley and Mackenzie Curry. Maria's first at bat, she lined a base hit, getting her the second RBI for this Wayne Pascack Hills team.
So Wayne Hills needs to find some offense. Whoa, Kennison a little wild on the warm-up pitch. Looking like the Mets early on this season. Mets are supposed to have a big offensive team, but last 2 games have put up no offense. Tonight, though, I am extremely excited for the first Mets-Braves game of the season. Last time the Mets-Braves played, the Mets did win the last game of the series, but the last important game was when Armando Benitez came into the game with a 5-1 lead and eventually left to John Franco. It was 5-4, bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-2 pitch, I believe it was, for Brian Jordan, and he nailed it over the right field wall, or left field wall, I think actually was, and it gave the Braves the 8-5 lead, or 8-5 win, and that really killed the Mets' chances. So Benitez has to bounce back tonight when he faces his old nemesis with a 6.29 ERA against the Braves, his highest against any team in baseball. So Kennison goes up high for ball 1 to lead off the top of the 5th inning. And the big unit rips into center field. Oh, a misplay right there by the center fielder. So Mezzi gonna throw it in. She's gonna dig for third. We gotta play at third. And the third baseman says sorry on the play, Nikki Hecht. What are we giving that? Triple or advance on an error? I don't know, Dan. It's up to you.
It was a hard shot, tough play. We'll give the girl a triple.
What do you think, Mr. Hook? Straight triple or advance on an error?
Give her the triple.
All right, we'll give her the triple. So the big unit doing it all.
Line drive gets through right past Ashley Kennison. 1 run will score. And this Lauren Mezzi center fielder throws it into second, and this Hills team takes a 3-0 lead. That triple just was such a hard spot to get out of. You always have to constantly watch that runner.
So it goes right in front of the first baseman. Guns it down to second base. Pellechia, nice throw. Oh, the ump will call it safe on the play. It appears that Peruta pulled their leg off of second base before she caught the ball. Now that's common in the major leagues, but they almost never call it. If you watch any of the double plays that Alomar and Ordonez will pull this season, you almost never see them touch the bag, but they almost never call it.
Next up, bat, number 15, Lee Mueller. The last time she got struck out looking. Hard line drive, right to Erin Moskal. Oh, quick turns a double play. A beautiful heads-up play between Erin Moskal and Linda Wozniak. Line drive shot, caught the runner on first off the base, fired over to first and got for the double play. Beautiful heads-up. So now, huge jump, 2 outs, runner on second, and a ball high.
Erin Moskal showing off the fine leather. So Kennison goes up high, ball 1. And that's going to be popped up. Should be an easy play for Peruta. And there's 3 outs for Wayne Hills. So Wayne Hills needs to find some offense somehow. Now down 3-0. They need something. Dan, where are they going to find it?
Well, they're going to have to look through like every senior in their order. They're going to have to just scratch out runs, because they've tried everything and only gotten 1 hit. We now go back to Mike Rudner, who will update us again on our further schedule.
So, okay, we're going to have to move on to showing our next game, which is going to be Friday, May 10th. Volleyball versus Eastside. That'll be our first volleyball telecast of the season. And right now on the screen, Dan, your name's up there. Dan, you want to explain that? Why your name is on the screen right now?
Well, I am the 3rd member of the Wayne Hills Scillieri family. My sister was the first to pass through this high school several years ago, followed by my brother. He graduated when I was just a freshman. So my family's put enough time in with this Hills organization, so that's why we had that sign up there. Patriots Forever, the Scillieri family, Amy, John, and Dan.
So the Scillieri family, Patriots Forever. Dan will always be a Patriot. Now, I was starting to say before we were interrupted by the sign over there that Dan's family bought. On Friday, May 10th, the volleyball team will be playing Eastside, led by Ziggy Gorin. Now, he's a monster right here in volleyball. That's your all-state volleyball member.
Ziggy Gorin, as you know, or read in the papers, going to UConn and a full ride for football. Honestly, his heart is with volleyball, but the kid just has so much athletic talent that he just is going to dominate Division I football.
So the pitch is up high to Pellechia. Kennison, my mistake. Getting the battery mixed up right now.
Now, Mike, you say battery. Could you explain that for our fans?
The battery is the pitcher and catcher. That's the pitcher and catcher connection, which is considered the battery. So right now the battery for Wayne Hills is Pellechia and Kennison. And the pitch is in the dirt, so Wayne Hills gets a man on first base for only the second, a woman on first base. Dan correcting me. Not used to doing girls sports.
It's okay. Sometimes even the women call themselves guys. It's just kind of like the term. Oh, and a check swing slapped over the third baseman's head. Now, as I said before, the third baseman playing so close that she couldn't get her glove up in time to catch it. And a nice base hit by Nicole Heck, senior third baseman.
So Dana Pellechia represents the tying run right now for Wayne Hills. No outs, runners on first and second. Wayne Hills going to need to score right now. Big unit getting a little bit of trouble here.
But still seems to be throwing heat. As you see, Dana Pellechia couldn't get the batter out in time and had to foul it off. Now, as you know, I believe softball and baseball high school games are only 7 innings, and we are in the bottom of the 5th. If Hills wants a chance, oh, and it's dropped. Couldn't hold on to it, and everyone is safe. A tough play. A base hit given on that hard shot. Second baseman just couldn't hold on to it. And now the bases are loaded for young freshman Kim Beattie, who last grounded out to second base.
Now, I don't understand this. There are a lot of mental lapses here on the softball field. I've seen, the steals where they don't throw down. The worst is probably with Kennison at pitcher. And right there, Nicole Hecht was caught in between first and second. And when the second baseman picked it up, she didn't even bother throwing to second base. They could have had her easily. So Beattie fouls off the first 2 pitches. Falls behind 0-2.
This has been the Wayne Hills team's best chance to score runs today. Kim Beattie hits a little dribble at first, fires to the home plate, got her one. So Kim Beattie hits into a fielder's choice. The fielder's choice is the player who caught the ball could have gone to first to get that batter out, but instead turned and threw it to home, as you just saw, to get the runner. So the run did not score. Next up, number 3, junior Nicole Peruta. Nicole, a very powerful hitter, hoping to bring in some runs for this Wayne Hills team.
So Wayne Hills needs some sort of offense right now. Bases loaded, 1 out, down 3-0. Need to score a few runs right now, get back in this ball game. So Peruta fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Lauren Mezzi, leadoff hitters on deck. Now in a play like this, they looked like they were going to try about what I was going to say, the squeeze play, but the pitch was up high. Play like this, I like to use a squeeze play and bunt it down the first base line. I have the runner at third run home. So Peruta falls behind 1-2. Peruta needs to make contact here. It's essential to get the ball somewhere. And Peruta goes down on strikes, so that's her second strikeout of the game. Lauren Mezzi will be left to deliver the big base hit for Wayne Hills. They need something right now, Dan, desperately. So the big unit fires up high for ball 1.
Hard ground ball, scooped, fires over to first, and has got it. So the big unit breaks out of the bases loaded dilemma on a tough ground ball, 6-3 out to end the inning. And I believe we are in the top of the 6th. Wayne Hills team will have 2 more chances to close this deficit of 3-0.
They really blew it right there. Bases loaded, no one out. You have to score runs. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Especially in softball, where you don't get that many chances because most of the games are low scoring. With bases loaded and no one out, there's just no excuse not to score any runs. You do anything you can to make contact. So the big unit settled down right there to get the 3 outs in a row that she needed. And let's talk about our next telecast. Baseball, May 13th versus Demarest. Dan, how's this Demarest team looking so far?
Well, Demarest, who's a little shaky in some other sports, usually does throw a good baseball team onto the diamond. I believe Wayne Hills should just roll by them as they do in every other sport, because the Hills pitching staff and offensive lineup is just stacked this year. So I believe Hills has a good chance of going back to the county championships and maybe to the state championships.
Now, I heard of a big move today. that's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be just for Steve Aiello when he pitches, but Scott Pospisil will be in left field when Steve Aiello pitches. David Dom will move over to third base, and Jason DeMarco, the #1 pitcher on the team, will be taken out when Steve Aiello pitches. So Scott Pospisil is very impressive so far this season, scoring 4 runs already. And Steele, coming off the bench, coach wants to put him in the lineup. What can you tell us about Scott Pospisil?
Scott Pospisil, as you know, good outside linebacker for the Wayne Hills Patriots. I'm sorry, I'm relating everything to football. But kid has great speed, very good eye contact. When he connects with the ball, you know it's going to go for a ride. He led the JV team last year in home runs, RBIs, and I believe average. And another strike. Kennison now smiling from the cheers from her teammates. Kennison trying to warm her hand up on this cold evening. The pitch, and it is swinging high, strike 3. I believe that is Kennison's 6th strikeout of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So next up for Pascack Hills is number 17, Katie Hansen. Big hitter for Pascack Hills so far. Led the game off with a triple and an RBI.
As you hear the coach calling out to his player, just to put the ball in play, not to hit a home run. Players who ever attempt to try and hit runs rarely ever connect with the ball because they put so much power in. Hard chopper to the first baseman. Linda Wozniak takes herself, steps on first, fires around the horn.
Now, if you notice that when Barry Bonds takes his cuts, it doesn't look like he's trying to swing for anything. Yet last year he had 73 home runs, and for the first 3 games of the season he has 4. So Dan was trying to show right there is if you try to look for the home run too much, you are prone to strikeouts, as Jeremy Burnitz does. But you do get some home runs. You just strike out a ton.
Also, along with Jerry Burnitz, the recently retired Mark McGuire, as some players call fence or bench, because you either slam one to the fence or sit the bench on a strikeout. I mean, players these days are just working on slap hitters such as Seattle's Ichiro, who rarely hits home runs but leads his team in average almost every year.
By every year, do you mean 1? Dan, he was a rookie last year.
I meant like when he played in the Japanese league.
Okay, thanks, Dan. So Wayne Hills look to take the field right now, the bottom of the 6th. They need some offense. They're going to have their middle of the lineup coming up with Moscow, Wozniak, and Wolf due up. Linda Wozniak, the left-handed first baseman, batting 3, is kind of like Mo Vaughn. So we've just been handed our last telecast for the season, which will be on May 22nd. Volleyball versus Clifton should be a great matchup with Ziggy Gorin leading the way. You know, can you tell us about some other volleyball stars? You know, Clifton's supposed to be a great team.
Along with Ziggy Gorin, there are such stars as Jay Sawicki, a former basketball player, very tall, I believe is 6'6", kind of lanky, but can definitely get his hands over the net for a good blocker and nice spike. Also followed by such players as Mike Golub, John Haft, led by the great coach Mr. Eustace, or as some of us call him, Billy Justice, just kind of a nickname his students like to give him.
Speaking of tall and lanky, I think you missed an important member of the volleyball squad, Eric Rieser. He did a few football games earlier on this season. Eric's supposed to be a good volleyball player, along with Adam Tett. And Aaron Moskal rips one into center field. Oh, and almost caught by that center fielder, but to drop in for base hit. So Aaron Moskal, by far having the best day for Wayne Hills right now, showing the fine leather and great hitting ability.
Although that was Aaron Moskal's first hit of the day, she is dominating in the field. As you remember back in the previous innings, that slick bang double play. Up next, the lefty Linda Wozniak, who is 0 for 2 on the day. And the pinch runner, number 8, Kristen Pena, coming in to run for Aaron Moskal. Coach checking in with the umpire, making the change. Linda Wozniak taking her practice swings before stepping into the box. Settles in. As you see, Linda has that big knee brace on her left knee. Hopefully she'll just generate enough power off that leg. Fakes the bunt, the steal, tie, and she's thrown out stealing.
Now the Pascack Hills team threw to second base. It's amazing. It's the first time I've seen on a stolen base they throw to second base.
Well, if you haven't noticed, there was no runner on third base to watch out in case of the threat going home. So I believe that was supposed to be a hit and run, but Linda Wozniak failed to connect with the pitch, and that is ball low.
So it's 1-1 to Liz Wozniak, and she rips it to the shortstop. Nice diving catch by number 13, Alyssa McGrary.
That is the second time Linda Wozniak has lined out to the shortstop. Next up, number 11, Jen Wolf, the cleanup hitter. Wolf gets it off the hands, and it is a fair ball! Fair ball, just on the line. Jen Wolf just connecting with that off the hands at the small end of the bat. Just hitting it over the first baseman's head.
So Jen Wolf collects her second hit of the day. Cleanup hitter for Wayne Hills. I think the helmet's a little bit too big on her.
Well, you remember most of these girls wear their visors under the helmet. That's why it tends to slide off.
Once again, the helmet falls off of Jen Wolf, and first pitch is tipped by Ashley Hanson for strike one. And Kennison swings and misses on strike two. So 0-2 right now for Ashley Kennison with 2 down in the 6th inning, which is the equivalent of the 8th inning for Major League Baseball. Way up high, and Jen Wolf's off and running. Helmet flies off, but she'll take second base easily.
So that is the first successful stolen base from this Wayne Hills Patriots team. Jen Wolf just read it perfectly, knew the pitch was going high, catcher didn't have a chance, and just broke for second. Kennison staying alive, fouling off, hoping to just put the ball into the outfield, hoping to score Jen Wolf.
So Wayne Hills is desperate for a run right now. And Kennison grounds one at the third base. Nice throw over to first base in time. So that'll be the third out for Wayne Hills. And the score is 3-0. Going into the last inning, top of the 7th. Kennison has pitched a fairly good game for Wayne Hills.
While pitching the game, defense has been looking pretty solid except for a shaky 1 inning. This Hills team has just not been producing runs. Now, as in most sports, in baseball and softball, the teams tend to have one very bad inning where just the team just doesn't mesh well together. Like in football, there'll be a series where the team just doesn't play well together and just back and forth and back and forth. What really takes a good player is to shake it off, you know, encourage the team and get them back up, get them going again, keeping their heads on.
And there's the Pascack Hills bench right there. And there's the pitcher warming up, Ashley Kennison, having a fairly nice day. Some tough defensive plays not helping her in the field. And the hitter steps into the box. So Natalie Carlin, who is 0 for 1 in the day, hit by a pitch for a strikeout. Kennison fires in low for ball 1. Now in softball, you only have like 1, maybe 2 pitchers because the underhand throw, you don't get too tired playing softball. And it's ripped into center field right at Lauren Mezzi. He puts it away. Hard hit ball there by Carlin. And the big unit coming up the bat.
Ooh, swinging at the high pitch, strike one. Maria Hein-Gelburn, as we'd like to call her for today's game, the big unit. Last at bat, slapped a triple. First at bat, ripped a RBI single. Definitely, if this game continues the way it is, should be the MVP of today's game.
Henderson fires up high for a ball. 2-1 on the big unit. There for strike two, 2-2. Evens up the count. So Kennison needs to get the strikeout here, or some sort of out. And the pitch is inside for a ball. Tough call. Dan arguing with the umpire.
Ooh, tough. I mean, just a little bit inside. I thought that had been called a strike. Ashley deals. Strike three, got her looking. Kennison just showing endurance coming into this last inning.
So Dan, I have a question for you here. Were you ever thrown out of a baseball game?
No, Mike, I never was, but I have argued with the officials in my day, arguing something as simple as a ball or strike, or arguing in something that cost us the game. As you know, last year in the JV All-Wayne tournament, there was a big controversial play at home that cost us the game. I mean, it was chaos. I think 4 or 5 of our players were ejected. A mother came onto the field to yell at the official. I mean, it was just almost pandemonium.
Now, Dan, I like to talk about our baseball past. In 4th grade, Dan and I were on the same baseball team. I was the third baseman, Dan was the catcher. And we went into that championship game. We were down 6-4 in the 9th inning, and Mike Ward, Wayne Hills student, started things off with a triple. Next 2 men went down on outs, or Ward got a triple somewhere in the inning. And Steve Aiello, the star from Wayne Hills baseball, stepped to the plate. Dan, you can tell us what happened there.
Back then, Steve Aiello was just a monster, dominated the short fields. Setting in, Mike Ward taking a good lead. Steve Aiello, as he does now, just drilled a home run over the left center wall. I mean, he slammed this one pitch. And strike 3, Kennison again striking out.
Now, we won't talk about what happened after that. The score was tied at 6-6, and the game took so long that they ended the game as a championship tie, 6-6.
That was Ashley Kennison's 8th strikeout. Kennison is throwing a very good game. It's just her offense isn't helping her out. So now we're in the bottom of the 7th. It is Hill's last chance to score 3 or 4 more runs. If 3 runs are scored, do they tie or do they go into overtime, Mike?
Now, Dan, you're a baseball player. I don't believe it's called overtime. I think it's extra innings.
Sorry.
Overtime is what we have in football. Dan, he quit baseball to work on his football skills, and he took his knowledge with him. That's a good deal.
So the big unit, Maria Hein-Gilburn, looking to finish the game off, to get the shutout. Batting first, Nikki Hecht. Nikki Hecht is, is 1 for 2 on the day. Kennison, one of the star seniors, settles in. And hard cut, fouls one off. Getting the time down of the big unit, Maria Hein-Gelburn.
So Jen Wolf pumping up the squad. So pitch was down low for a ball. Oh, swings at the high heat from the big unit.
Now, I remember in my baseball days, high fastballs just look so good, and everyone swings at them, and they're so hard to hit. I mean, they're coming in eye level. You're like, wow, that's such a good pitch. I mean, in a fraction of a second, and you swing and just can't get the bat under it enough and just miss it. Most pitchers like to get batters like that.
Now, Dan, when you say everyone, I believe you missed out myself. I never swung at anything, Dan. I was looking up there, just hoping to get on base via the walk. I had no intention of swinging at all. Now, I did strike out a lot, but I also did have the highest on-base percentage on any team I had, because all I did was stand up there looking for the walk.
I do remember, Mike. I do remember.
The biggest fear I had was that high fastball hitting me in the head. Whoa! Ripped foul by the right-hander behind us. That's almost impossible. How do you turn on that? And it didn't even hit the cage. So Pellechia steps in with one out. Big unit delivers up high. And it's ripped up the middle for a base hit. So Pellechia stays alive and rips it into center field. Second hit of the game. So Kim Beattie will step up for Wayne Hills with one out. They need to get this to the top of the order. Need to get it to the leadoff hitter, Lauren Mezzi, so she can deliver a big base hit for Wayne Hills.
The Wayne Hills coach conferencing with the young Kim Beattie, trying to calm her down, not letting the pressure get to her. Pellechia in almost a runner stance from first base, waiting to take her lead as soon as the pitch goes. Oh, Kim Beattie check swings, fouls one over the Wayne Hills dugout.
Now, I'm curious on one thing. She's standing on first base. She has 1 foot on the base and the other foot in foul territory. Is it just me, or does it make more sense to have 1 foot on first base and the other in fair territory? You have an extra jump towards first base. So Beattie lays down the bunt and the throw to first, not in time, so the tying runner come up for Wayne Hills. Uh-oh, Pellechia got caught in a rundown. Not good base running right here. And Wayne Hills, this safe. I thought it was going to be the end of the game. Not good base running at all. All they need 3 runs. They don't need her running to third base. This is mental errors.
Tough base running. Coach should have been screaming to her to stay at second. I mean, Kim Beattie just luckily slides under the tag, so making it to second. But just Dana Pellechia, what was she doing trying to make her way to third?
Now, I did mention before, I was not the best baseball player. I didn't have that much power, but I did have tremendous baseball knowledge, and I would have known on that play not to run to third base. You're down by 3 runs. You need the 3rd run. You don't need 1 run. The 1 run means absolutely nothing. So you got to get the 3 runs. The tying run was coming up to the plate. That was an important runner right there, and that is just a huge mental error. And this should end the game. Big unit over to first base. So the winning pitcher is the big unit. 3-0. Pascack Hills wins, losing pitcher Ashley Hanson, but she did have a nice performance. Tough defense behind her. Aaron Moscow receives our MVP for Wayne Hills. And Dan, what did you see this game that impressed you?
I saw a tremendous game of pitching. As you saw, Maria Hein-Gilburn deliver a 3-0 shutout, and Ashley Kennison dealing 8 strikeouts for her Wayne Hills Patriots team. I mean, both teams just battled it out, but Pascack, there always has to be a winner, and Pascack Hills won.
Now, right now, Wayne Hills, I do not think that they are, a bad team. They just have too many mental lapses. I mean, the worst one might have been the play where it was to Kennison, and she didn't throw it to second base. She even mentioned, why didn't I throw it to second base? And another one was that play right there in the 7th inning. So Wayne Hills has to get it together. They had bases loaded, no one out, which is just absolutely horrendous that you can't score that. You need to score a couple runs. I'm sure they tried. They put a good effort on the field today. And we just like to say that our next telecast will be April 19th, so stay tuned for that. Our cameramen for today's game were Mike Berlin and Steve Pellechia. No, that's not his name.
Correction, Steve Pellechia.
Pellechia, okay. So Dave Gastwirth was the TD with the help of Mr. Hookstraight. I'm Mike Rudner, and for Dan Scillieri, we're signing off.